guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. And today we are going to go ahead and do the no item run across the GT Red Zone with DOKKANFEST Pan's team. I'm a little bit late on this. I actually recorded a lot of this footage a couple of days ago, but Dokkan's just been so busy. So there was a couple of big additions to Pan's team. Obviously, this was all recorded and done before Chilai came out. Chilai, I probably would have brought on most of these runs, honestly, if I was able to use her. And then the Easy 8 Goku, Trunks, and Pan. In a couple of these runs, they are Easy 8, and I do use them, right? This character, of course, is pretty solid and can definitely help out. They will be able to allow Pan to get off her ridiculously powerful active skill and take things down. Now, I definitely had more trouble, I think, in the GT side of the Red Zone than the movie side. Broly typically is the toughest fight, but Pan is really designed as a counter against Broly. She really is. So that made that one not really as bad, and some of these GT fights that are into were very troublesome. Alright, now we're moving on to the Lord Luud fight. Now, the thing that's really funny about this fight is Luud is actually the Pan's unit super attack with a GT Goku. Like, it's actually against Luud that animation comes from, right? But this fight is really not so tough. You know, Luud is just a fight you could come in here really with our strongest characters and then just, like, dump on this guy. We don't really have to use any sort of strategy or anything like that when it comes to Lord Luud, right? We just sort of disintegrate him with Pan's big-time strength, right? We're able to run, you know, LR Kaioken Goku. The thing about Pan's leader skill is we do have access, because it's Bond of Friendship, to basically every single Goku in the game. So, of course, I mean, you guys might be shocked by this, but there are really quite a few incredibly good Gokus that have been released recently who are able to really put in a lot of work. And don't forget about this AGL Super Saiyan 2 Goku here. Really can be pretty helpful in some of these runs, man, right? Like, he's really able to stack up his defense. He could do at least some decent damage as well. He can give Pan access to her passive, her unit super attack, and her active skill too. So that AGL Super Saiyan 2 Goku, pretty solid. But yeah, the Lord Luud doesn't really give us too much trouble. We sort of just, like, disintegrate him with powerful characters, right? Kaioken Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, these characters just destroy him. All right, now we're moving on to the Rilldo fight. Now, the Rilldo fight I actually had a lot of difficulties with. The fights in the red zone that were really tough was Janemba, Rilldo, Baby, and Omega. And it's not a surprise why those were the tough fights. All of those fights have int enemies. Pan really can get destroyed by int bosses, right? Which, you know, again, several of these tough red zone stages, there's a lot of int enemies around. So this opening phase is brutal, because remember, Pan builds up. She has to do 5 attacks in order to fully build up her passive, including her defense and stuff like that. You know, we got a rotation with double Pan and Namek Goku, which is bad, because Pan does get quite a lot of defense from the All in the Family link, which Namek Goku does not have, right? So it's just like, if we got supered on this opening turn, we would have been in big trouble. You guys know one thing that makes Rilldo so tough in this fight is that when we get to the final phase against the Tech Rilldo, he locks. So this is why when doing this fight, you really do want to bring a lot of int characters to sort of help beat this Rilldo fight, right? Int characters can be very, very good here. Right, we have the Resurrection F, Blue Goku, and Vegeta. Goku can do a lot of damage very rapidly, right? Like, the first turn, typically he starts out a little bit slow, but then that second turn, Goku can do insane damage. We can exchange into Vegeta, get the Rainbow Orb changing. Vegeta's very powerful offensively and defensively, right? But this opening phase was what was really giving me a lot of trouble. I kept, like, getting Pan turn 1, only for Pan to get, like, absolutely destroyed by this int Rilldo. So it actually took me several attempts to beat this. I feel like I might only have made it to the final phase Tech Rilldo only like once before finally beating him. It was just, again, a lot of the fights that have powerful int phases are the ones that were just very difficult to take down. Right, because if the super attacks were placed near Pan, it was bad, right? You guys should know that Pan does have a hole in her kit, right? Where she has to be in slot 1 to get her damage reduction. After she attacks, she no longer has the damage reduction, and some of these int bosses, man, they just do so much damage in that spot, right? Which can make things very, very devastating and difficult to sort of get through. Okay. So, basically, though, this fight, the major difficulty here, because we mostly have an int lineup of a lot of int characters, once we make it to the final phase of Rilldo, we probably should be okay. Rilldo certainly could lock Pan in, like, slot 2 or 3 and then super attack her there, which could be a major issue. Or the AGL GT Super Saiyan 2 Goku, I suppose. You know, he could get super attacked by Rilldo, but outside of those, we really should be good. With a lot of the int powerful characters that we are rocking, right? So, alright, so there was the Rilldo fight. Let's go ahead and move on to the next fight now. All right, now we're fighting Baby. Baby is a fight that gave me a lot of difficulties, right? Not surprising. It's not hard to figure out why. Baby, with all of his int phases, were just very problematic for Pan. I found that Grade 8 Baby could do a lot of damage to Pan. You know, so it was just like very sort of like being cautious. You know, once we get to the double int phases. The one good thing, though, about fighting these powerful int bosses is we're able to bring the physical GT Super Saiyan Goku. Now, I am not really a fan of this character. He could do a lot of damage, which is great. You know, so can most other good units. He can Rainbow Orb Change, which of course is a tremendously powerful ability. Thank God UI Goku dodged that right there. You know, again, Rainbow Orb Changing is super, super good, but he just can't tank whatsoever. That GT Super Saiyan Goku gets just destroyed. Any meaty boss in the red zone obliterates that physical GT Goku. So, we have to just be very, very cautious with him. But he can really take off a lot of health bars off of Baby quickly. And one reason it's especially helpful to be able to bring him into these fights is once we bring him in here, remember that he will make it easier for Pan to get her active skill. Now, getting Pan's unit super attack is irrelevant in all these fights because all it does is give her a bigger stun chance, which doesn't matter. Right? I mean, it'll help her stack attack, right, compared to just our normal super attack. She greatly stacks instead, but like it's really not the biggest deal to get her unit super attack. But what matters is her passive and then her active skill. Because her passive, you know, with a GT hero, Goku, Trunks, or Giru, we will get the additional with a 50% chance to be a super. But then also the active skill is just like so, you know, the active skill can single-handedly win us these fights. With the amount of damage Pan does on that active skill super, and then 59% chance to crit for the turn is just radically powerful. It is just so, so good and so helpful to be able to do that, right? So, that's why that GT physical Goku can be handy. Getting multiple, there we go. Listen, I will remain... Dude, the way people talk about that Super Saiyan Goku right there, they talk about him as though he's like a 2020 unit. Like, so many people do. And I just feel like they just have no idea what they're talking about. That Goku can be good. He just, of course, the #1 fight you'd want the Goku to be incredible in, the Broly fight, he's not, right? Because Broly cancels dodge. But guess what? You know, once you swap into Gohan, Gohan is a god. But that Super Saiyan Goku... It's like people pretend like he can't do anything, and it's just ridiculous to me. That Super Saiyan Goku, you know, if you know what you're doing with the game, guess what? The Super Saiyan Goku can put in a lot of work. Because how many no-item runs, you know, Super Battle Road runs, Red Zone runs, is this Goku and Gohan dominating it? They're a great unit. They are ridiculously powerful. Now, we ate a big super attack right there, which is kind of bad. It does put us in a pretty tricky position, honestly. And because of that, I decided to gamble a little bit right here. It might seem insane. We got a little bit lucky with the tech orbs right there. And then look at all the healing we got in that turn. But I wanted to go for that. Because remember, Goku doesn't dodge until after he supers. But I wanted to get that super off so we could get exchange into Gohan. And then, remember, one big difference. In these red zone fights, you can take, you know, a lot of damage. Because nowadays on 200% leader skill teams... we just have so much more defense per character, which just means you're healing so much more per same type orb, which can be very, very helpful, right? So, all right, this pretty much covers, like, you know, the fight against Baby. You know, a lot of the characters are obvious why we're using them. You know, why would we use LR UI Goku? Because Grade 8 Baby will do a million, you know, AoE normal attacks. UI Goku can dodge them. UI Goku eats one hit right there, and then dodges a super attack, which would have killed us, and then dodges everything else, right? That's UI Goku, still very powerful in these stages. Should be obvious why we have, you know, like physical Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Again, he could be very versatile, very powerful, especially against an enemy. Physical Super Saiyan 3 Goku can put in a lot of work. And then, of course, we could exchange into Gohan right here. From this point on, Pan is it's really scary with Pan, right? If she gets hit by a super attack, we're probably dead. I think Pan would take a lot of damage, potentially even with her damage reduction up. So we just have to be very, very cautious from this point on. But really, as long as Baby does not catch her, we should be good to go. I believe... don't we... we get a dodge off or something like that on this turn. I'm going to continue the commentary just for this turn. Some shenanigans happen on this turn. I think we get like a dodge or like Pan dodges or something like that. Remember, another thing too, I will always be screaming this. Don't get deceived and think that putting dodge on characters is bad or something like that. It is not, right? Giving characters that 3 dodge can really help you a lot in a lot of these tougher fights. He supers right here? Yeah, he does. And we 3 dodge. So this no item run was on the back of a 3 dodge. Of course it was. Yeah, dude, these int bosses, they always seem to super where Pan is, and it's crazy. But there we go. There's our Baby no item run off the back of 1 level 3 dodge. That's all it takes, man. 1 level 3 dodge, and you can be in the clear. So good, so good. And then, you know, getting close to here, we're going to be able to start peppering Baby with Pan's active skill and stuff like that. And, you know, just easily be able to get the W at this point, right? moving on to Super 17. Super 17 was just really not tough at all with Pan and her team. It helps. Remember, we can run, it's the team I used against Broly. I was running Captain Ginyu and Raccoon Goldo on there. We have the ability to run a lot of powerful options in a lot of different places. Being able to run, like, the GT Trunks and Goten support type unit, was very, very helpful in here. All right, we ate a lot of damage right there early on, but it's okay. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. But yeah, that Trunks and Goten, they do non-Ki Blast Super, so Super 17 is not going to absorb it. And then they're also going to be supporting a lot of the units on the team, right? And their AGL, so they will be in a really good spot. We have Captain Ginyu and Raccoon Goldo as a rotation. We know that they're virtually untouchable, right? These two. They do not need, you don't need a full Ginyu Force team for Ginyu to be good. You don't need, a 200% leader for these units to be good. Raccoon Goldo and Captain Ginyu, they could sweep all of these red zone stages, these two characters, right? When I was having trouble no-iteming Broly with the Ginyu Force, it's because I'm forced to use, free-to-play characters like AGL Birder and Physical Raccoon, who every single run I was dying because they would die, right? But it's when, the extra characters on the team are characters that could actually eat these hits. It's really not so bad. Although Trunks and Goten took a lot of damage right there. Okay, so this so far it's a little bit of a scary run, but I think right around here is where we could kind of settle in. And remember, Pan is capable to get to look how much, see, just same type orbs. You could just get so much healing, man. It's hundreds of thousands of healing per turn if you just get lucky with some same type orbs, right? And look at Pan going crazy with the super attack stacks. Now, Pan's active skill, remember, we cannot use against Super 17. Maybe I could use it, the first turn we get the Super 17, if we could use it, I could pop it and get Pan's 59% chance to crit for the turn. But it is a beam super attack, so it would heal Super 17. So it just really would not be intelligent to go for that super attack unless we're going to try and go for the 59% chance to crit for the turn. But there we go. There is the fight against Super 17. This one, again, is really not that bad. Being able to use Ginyu, Raccoon, and Goldo, and some of these other characters. This one felt very easy, very simple, this Super 17 fight. Alright guys, now we're moving on to the Shadow Dragons. So, the Shadow Dragons, I don't really think is too tough of a fight. I was actually kind of surprised. I saw a lot of global players struggling with the Shadow Dragon fight, which, again, surprised me because this is a fight that it goes on so long, you can use, like, a traditional Hybrid Saiyan setup or the Universe 6 Girls and be able to cheese this. Many of the other Red Zone fights are so difficult that, you know, you can't really just, like, use one of these, like, stacking hybrid teams to, like, easily beat some of the Red Zone fights, like, effortlessly, right? But, against the Shadow Dragons here, we sort of can, right? Like, we can come in here, and you could stack up a lot. So, what we're doing here, of course, is we're bringing... I think every character on the team pretty much is able to stack, right? Besides LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, although he does build up as well. Remember that Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right, takes 3 turns to fully build up his attack. Pan will be stacking up like crazy. Now, this is another one of these fights, you know, there's not much for me to talk about besides, like, yeah, like our stacking units stack, right? We get stronger. Ice Shenron at the end is able to lock, which of course is a huge issue, but by the time we get there, I think most of our characters should be in prime position to win. We also are not bringing any int characters. I do think that LR Namek Goku is a very good option for this fight, because this is a fight where Namek Goku really can stack and get very, very high, to where even he, you know, I'm sure Ice, or Namek Goku, you know, after many super attacks, he'll be able to eat Ice Shenron's super attack as well. Right, so he was definitely an option I could have ran here. But I really like the idea of using Kale and Caulifla in this fight, right? Because, you know, once they fuse into Kefla, we know how good they can be, right? AGL Super Saiyan 2 Goku will be great with his stacking as well. That AGL Super Saiyan 2 Goku, man, I remember when he came out last July of 2021, I remember saying, like, yo, this guy's good. Like, I'm impressed. And sure enough, like, he's a strong option. You know, this guy was in most of these Red Zone no-item runs we did, right? Like, the power of stacking. Many characters, I think, have released within the last year or two, where it's like, they're like, okay, but it's like, if they just would also stack, I think that they could be a little bit better, right? So, you know, we will see if they give more characters stacking, right? Even with stacking, too, it's not even about, like, oh, stacking to 1,000,000 defense so you're tanking super attacks. It's more like stacking defense so that maybe these support type units could tank like Red Zone Broly's normal attacks or Red Zone Omega's normal attacks, right? They'd still die from a super attack, of course, but being able to just at least tank the normals from these Red Zone bosses is not something that you want to underestimate. That could be very helpful too. So yeah, a lot of these characters, right, we've talked about, we've used them in a lot of the runs so far, right? A lot of stacking characters, a lot of characters who are going to slowly build up. Just getting same type orbs every turn to try and heal up as much as possible. Right, we'll exchange into Gohan with the Goku and Gohan unit as soon as we're able to. Remember that the Goku and Gohan unit is even better in this fight too, because Gohan, you know, he'll be able to get the guard proc no matter what against Ice Shenron at the end, so that could be very, very good. So here we go. Here's the Shadow Dragon fight. Again, we just continue along, absolutely destroying it. Let's go ahead and move on to the last fight. right, guys, now we're moving on to the Omega fights. Now I definitely did have some difficulties here with the Omega fight because it's just, I mean, he just hits so damn hard in here, right? Now Pan, it really can be exposed in a lot of this fight, the majority of this fight. I don't know what it is, but this is, Omega does seem to love to super that slot in slot 1 after your slot 1 unit attacks, right? He does seem to just do it very, very often, which of course is problematic. Pan is not able to have her damage reduction there. Omega having type, yeah, there, see, there it is right there. Like, if that was Pan in that spot instead of UI Goku, we'd probably lose outright, immediately, turn 1. Now, the thing about Pan, though, right, she could take a lot of damage, but she is probably the, I mean, besides STR Vegito, she's pretty much like the most impressive burst damage character in the game at this point, right? Again, I still think STR Vegito, like, if he's able to get, like, 10 counters, and, you know, you have, like, a double Whis up, he could be, like, the most impressive damage-dealing character, but it's just not really super viable these days, unless you have items up, right? So, okay, yeah, the Goku and Gohan unit, being able to get a double super attack right here is very helpful. So we'll be able to get that transformation in early. Remember, you can stun Omega, which is just very, very helpful, right? So, like, getting the stun off on him will allow us to sort of, like, work effectively here. Now, this is a pretty big stroke of luck. Physical Super Saiyan 3 Goku starting out in slot 7, so we get an immediate transformation with him. Just so very, very good right there. And then again, just trying, a lot of these fights, just trying to get as much health as we possibly can by getting as many same type orbs as we can. Remember that you do heal more from same type orbs the higher your defense is. So, you know, these big defensive characters are just going to be able to get us massive amounts of HP, right? So from this point on, like once we get to STR Sin, we need really good rotations, right? Because like physical GT Super Saiyan Goku cannot take hits from Sin Shenron. Pan cannot eat super attacks, right, from Sin Shenron, unless, you know, pretty much he supers her before she attacks. We just have the ability for things to go south very fast. Now, I believe, I guess I'll make sure to keep the commentary going until that point, but I believe we do one turn in Omega at the end. I'm able to get several active skills off, and we disintegrate him. Let me see, does Sin super right here? Okay, so, dude, this is the other problem with this damn fight. I've mentioned this several times, but it's just very uncanny how often this boss tends to dodge. He dodges a lot, and I think it's because of how hard this fight is that you can really feel it when this guy dodges, right? Like, it's like the dodges really hurt you. The other thing, too, don't forget, is that with Omega, if he dodges Pan, that doesn't count towards her active skill condition, which is, what, 5 attacks? That, you know, we're not getting credit towards that if the enemy's actually dodging the attack, which is really bad because we absolutely will need Pan's active skill towards the end when it comes to taking down Omega, right? Like, we need to be able to pop Pan's active skill. She gets a 59% chance to crit for the turn, right? Which and then we need her to, like, triple super, triple crit, right? Because Omega is just, like, we're not... This team is definitely very, like, offensive-oriented towards the final phase. We're not really going to be able to tank as much against him. The Goku and Gohan unit can. UI Goku can dodge. Maybe the AGL Super Saiyan 2 GT Goku could build up enough defense by then to be able to tank okay-ish, but we essentially have a team here of a bunch of characters who will not eat Omega's attacks easily. So we just, again, have to play things very, very cautiously once we get to the end. But I feel like this fight is a good example at the same time of why Pan is so good, right? Like, her damage can be really impressive. Like, there's so many characters in the game can do damage, right? Like, oftentimes, like, oh, it's 8 million attacks, whoopee, like, so many characters can do that, right? But, like, Pan it's like, she's a bit different, man. Even than, like, these big damage dealers. Because, like, when Pan drops a triple 8 million super attack and then her active skill at the same time or some shit like that, it gets pretty nuts. Has Sin super? Dude, I'm watching this back, like, has this guy, like, super attacked at all? Where's his supers? Do we get a super dodge right here? Okay, he did dodge. Okay, sure. It's like, am I crazy? I feel like this guy hasn't super attacked. Oh, this is where he supers and we get the counter with Gohan, I think. Yeah. I believe in this fight, I might get multiple counters with Gohan. Or we get the counter right here. But yeah, looks like no wonder this was the no item run. Seems like we had some pretty decent luck against this Sin right here. He was not really super attacking too much. Okay, and then the other thing too here, this is a terrifying turn because this GT Goku in the middle, he takes damage, man. Like he takes a lot of damage. So having to take type disadvantage right here is an issue. Now, I was thinking right here, I specifically remember this. If I switch to Gohan, and then I float him off, we're not going to be guarding when we get Gohan back. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I have to do this. Because it's like, if Sin supers right here, Gohan could tank it and live. Or he'd have a 70% chance to counter it, right? Whereas Goku would just have a 50% chance to dodge. So I was like, all right, let me do that. And then Gohan is a character who I would put in front of Omega's super attack, right? Because even though without his guard he can't tank it, he still has a 70% chance to dodge and counter Omega's super attack. That was kind of my thinking. Does Goku super twice right here to be able to tank? Or 3 dodge? He 3 dodged. Dude, I'm telling y'all, like, so often people will pretend like 3 dodge. 3 dodge saved us 255,000 damage right there. I promise you guys, we don't win this fight with 255,000 HP. That 3 dodge, it seems insane, but that 3 dodge right there, like, got us the no item run, right? Like, you do not, if you don't put 3 dodge in your characters, I just feel like you're doing it wrong. Like, you're not even giving yourself a chance. The point with 3 dodge is you're giving yourself a chance. I believe I put Goku in slot 1 right there, not because I was scared of Pan, but because I wanted to try and greed out another stack. That was a bit of a gamble. I wanted Goku to stack instead of Pan, because I wanted him to get the extra defense. But again, I'm pretty sure, I think we kill Omega on this turn right here. Like, we actually one-turn him. Yeah, we do. So, the reason we one-turn him, by the way, should be fairly obvious, because we're able to get the active skill with GT Goku right here. Very uncommon. Damage is decent because he's got type advantage. And then we're also able to get the active skill with Pan. Now remember, Pan's active skill here gives us a 59% chance to crit on the active skill super and for the rest of the turn, right? And I believe we also get a Dokkan attack right here. So I think we get a Super Saiyan 3 Goku gets a Dokkan attack, and then I think he triple supers or something like that. Pan wipes off a third of Omega's health right there by herself. And then I believe GT DOKKANFEST Goku at the end double supers and just does a tremendous amount of damage, and then we're able to get the job done. Pan is not capable of tanking. I can't remember what Pan... What percent is this Pan? I don't remember what percent she was in the dupe system. I definitely showed it earlier. But Pan and GT Goku are not capable of tanking in here. Physical Super Saiyan 3 can't in slot 1 either. But, like, dude, I couldn't put... You guys think I could put Pan in that slot 1 right there? No. No, I can't. We will die. I cannot put Pan there, right? That's why I am glad I had dodge on Super Saiyan 3. It didn't come through at the start right there. But, like, if he had dodged even one of those, that would have been very helpful for us. Him even just getting 2 super attacks right there is also very, very handy for us. And then there we go. That is us no-iteming Omega. This is one of the craziest rotations I've had before, personally, in Dokkan. One-turning this Omega right here with this lineup, right? I'm not as high in Physical Super Saiyan 3 as others. I'm not as high in Physical GT Goku as others, or even probably Pan as other people, but this offensive lineup right here really gets the job done. So let me know what you guys think of Pan no-iteming in the red zone. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.